So of course, I want to give a quick thank you to Ask Kirby for cutting that damn check. So of course, I gotta give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Ask Kirby. If you guys didn't know, Ask Kirby is this app where people come on here to basically come on here to just get advice. People come on here to spill their guts out, give their opinions, give their controversial opinions, and long story short, it's pretty much a good time. The best part about the app is it's literally anonymous. You can get it on Apple, you can get it on Android, and what's even great about the app is that you can come on here, tell your whole life story, and no one will ever know who you are. It doesn't require sign up or nothing. People come on here saying the craziest shit. Like, I screenshot a lot of my favorite ones. One girl came on here saying that she banged her Uber driver just for the fuck of it. And her story was long as shit, but really entertaining. Because sometimes Instagram be getting boring as fuck. And sometimes it's just interesting to listen to a mess of people's life. So basically it helps me realize that I'm not as fucked up as other people. So yeah, if you guys are interested, check out Ask Kirby. Let me know what you guys think. And you never know, you could be answering my advice or I could be answering your advice.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi my loves! It's Destin Troyce, and you're watching TROYCETV. Now today's video I really want to talk about Chet HANKS and the fact that the Jamaican community has a lot to say about what's been going on. Now, long story short, I'm pretty sure every single one of you guys watching this know who the fuck Chet HANKS is. Yes, a lot of you guys know who Chet HANKS is because a lot of you guys know his father. He's basically famous for being related to his famous father. Long story short, his father is Tom Hanks. And I thought Tom Hanks was the guy that jumped on that fucking couch during that infamous Oprah interview. But actually, Tom Hanks is the guy from Forrest Gump, and Tom Hanks is the guy that played in the recent movie, It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. I've never in my life watched a Tom Hanks movie in my fucking life, but more than likely, everybody watching this knows who Tom Hanks is. So if you guys didn't know, Tom Hanks has 3 kids. He has 2 sons and a daughter, and basically one of his sons, Chef Hank, decided that it was okay to basically go on the Golden Globes red carpet, because the Golden Globes was 2 days ago, for those guys who didn't know. So he thought it was okay to pretty much go on the red carpet of the Golden Globes and basically open up the show and start off his interview with saying this.
Oh my God. Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chet, coming straight from the Golden Globes, you watching? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a what soon forward come. Big up, tune in.
As I talk about this, I'm going to be enjoying my rice bowl with chicken and black beans and jalapenos and pico de gallo. For a lot of people were very pissed off about this. A lot of people were pressed. For some reason, a lot of Jamaicans weren't pressed about this. Because believe it or not, a lot of Jamaicans are very open and very open-minded when it comes to people basically tapping into their culture. The only people who are very defensive when it comes to their culture are pretty much Africans and African Americans. They're very defensive when it comes to their culture and who pretty much gets to be a part of it. And it's not like that for all people, and I'm not speaking for all Jamaicans. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times people who usually aren't African American and people who usually aren't African are usually the main ones who just don't get annoyed or offended when people want to emulate their accents or make their food or wear their type of clothing. So he got a lot of backlash from a lot of black people because a lot of people were just like, what the fuck is this? Who the fuck does he think he is? And I went to read the Shade Room comments, and even though the Shade Room is toxic as fuck but very entertaining, I like to read the comments. Sometimes there's a lot of self-hating, selective hearing, whack motherfuckers in the comments, but I'd be here for all of it. So I was reading the comments, and surprisingly enough, the whole comment section was just glorifying how attractive he was, and the entire comment section was full of, oh, you black Americans get offended for almost every other culture. Leave us the fuck alone. Don't drag us into this. This is why we don't speak for y'all, and this is why we don't connect to y'all culture. He also decided to respond to all the backlash he got. Yes, Chef decided to respond to the backlash that he got and decided to walk out of Smoothie King and make this video.
Yo, big up the youth them way out of Kingston. Me wake up this morning and me see the thing turn up. Internet gone mad. Respect, you don't know. Me soon forward a yard. Booyaka, booyaka.
And if y'all didn't think that was a big deal, he then decided to change his bio and add the Jamaican flag in his bio. And if you don't think that's that serious, he then decided to give the blogs a run for their money and post this video of him blasting reggae music.
Hey yo, listen! Me drop one big tune right now upon SoundCloud. Link in bio, go listen now, big tune. Make the thing go up like 7, up. But go listen now, big tune, straight.
Anywho, so after he got dragged to fucking filth for that shit, a lot of people were basically, it started a lot of debate. A lot of people were just like, we don't think it's that serious. Other people were just like, it is that serious. Because a lot of people are saying it in a perspective of, a lot of people pointed out, well, what about Drake? Drake says reggae shit all the time. Because if y'all didn't know, when he did his song with Rihanna, he was like, pick up your bum bum to bump on it. And it's just like, come on now. Like, you're not fucking a part of the culture. But then again, he does put on the artists that are a part of the culture. Like, he puts on the artists that are a part of that culture that he's emulating. And people are going to say, oh, well, he's black. Well, technically, he's biracial. And plus, his dad's African-American and his mom's white. And honestly, I know people are going to say, well, we should keep the same energy with Drake. Well, true, we should keep the same energy with Drake. But then again, I think Drake usually pays his respects to a lot of these cultures by collaborating with the people. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think Drake is the same. Well, patois is a universal language. Not only that, people from all over the world speak it. People all over the world speak Spanish. People all over the world speak this. People all over the world speak that. And that's a good point. People all over the world speak all kinds of languages. But I think it was more so the hand gestures. Because I was watching another Jamaican YouTuber give commentary on it. And a few Jamaican YouTubers pretty much had something to say. You know, a lot of people like to exaggerate that Jamaicans are just aggressive and overly loud, and people like to make it seem like all Jamaicans say, yeah, man, like people just try to like exaggerate and make it seem like Jamaicans are just overly fucking dramatic.
Coming straight from that Golden Globes, you want to say?
First of all, I want to say I rebuke that video in the name of Jesus Christ. Hallelujah.
Now, realistically, we've met a lot of Jamaicans in our life, or some of y'all probably are Jamaican, and you know that a lot of Jamaicans you meet, a lot of them are over the top, very dramatic, incredibly fucking loud, but that's a lot of part just how they grew up. So a lot of people just didn't like the fact because he's a white boy doing it. I know a lot of people are going to say it's not that serious. But let me tell you why I have a problem with him doing this. Because I have an issue with him doing this. And let me tell you why. So if you don't know anything about Tom Hanks is one of the most successful, highest paid, and richest actors of all time. Definitely a legend. Like, he's been in some of the most highest grossing films. Some of the biggest films in America overall. And long story short, he's worth over $300 million. His dad is worth over $300 million. Not only that, Chef Hanks' mother is Rita Wilson, and she's a big deal in these acting streets. So he obviously grew up a very privileged life. So a lot of people just see it as, where the fuck did this little patois accent come from? Obviously, you know, you're trying to forge it, and obviously you're just trying to be funny. And it's funny because the Breakfast Club even talked about it, and the Breakfast Club even brought a Jamaican woman on the show and asked the Jamaican woman, what is your thoughts on this? Can you translate what he said?
No, go on. You got to say in the mic, not standing anywhere. All right, so read the first one.
Big up. What the?
Oh, so this isn't real patois.
No.
Big up for me whole family soon come at the awards. Nah, see. Tune in.
Why can't we hear it? Jamaican people not talk like that, Virgin. Make a beg you for stop do them things there.
All right, well here's what he said along with.
She read it and she straight up said, what the fuck is this shit? This ain't no damn patois. So a lot of people had a problem with that, but then a lot of people in general caused a debate. Because you guys know black people can't fucking get along for shit. Why do you think racists don't take us seriously? Why do you think we can't get equality? Because we don't even take each other seriously. So a lot of people just weren't clashing and agreeing when it came to this situation. Now, let me fast forward to why I have a problem with this. Let me get back on that. I have a problem with him doing this because he has a history of saying some really nasty, fucked up things. Basically, thinking that he's down with black people. Now, if you guys didn't know, before Chet Hanks was just this boring, irrelevant white boy who starred in a couple of films.
Lord, forgive what I'm prepared to do. But if you look me in my eyes, you can see there's a zoo.
As time went on, he started to develop an accent as the early 2000s started to pass by. You know, he's currently 29 years old, but 5 to 6 years ago, if you guys didn't know, he was pursuing his rap career. If you guys didn't know, a couple years ago, way back, I'd say like around 8, almost 10 years ago, he basically did a remix to Wiz Khalifa's song Black and Yellow, and he called it White and Purple. Fast forward to a few years later, back in 2015, he actually started making music saying the N-word. And if you know anything about black people, you know that a lot of us aren't okay with a lot of racists using that word due to the simple fact that sometimes, if you don't live the black experience, I don't understand why you need to say that word.
bitch, we got the juice. Hey, young niggas, bitch, we got the juice.
I personally don't care who says it, but I feel like if you don't have the black experience, why do you need to say the N-word? But anyways, so basically he decided to say the N-word in a few songs, and a lot of people held him accountable back in 2015. And he actually went viral, and headlines were like all over this because he decided to defend his reason for using the N-word, and this was his reason for using the N-word back in 2015.
Look, I know the majority of y'all are not going to get this because the history is still so fresh in our country. But hip-hop isn't about race. It's about the culture you identify with. It isn't about race. It's about the culture you identify with. And can't no one tell me what I can't say.
I just want to clarify one thing. Under no circumstances would I ever go up to somebody that I didn't know and just be like, hey, what's up, my nigga? It's an unspoken thing between people who are friends who understand each other.
You identify with is it black culture or hip-hop culture we're referring to?
Black, hip-hop, whatever.
And so therefore you think you should get like a pass?
I mean, like everyone's gonna feel however they want to feel about it, you know. So it's like all I'm saying is that like white people like use that term, you know what I'm saying? It's like an unspoken thing, like amongst like their black friends, or whatever. You know, I wouldn't go up to any like black person and say it if I didn't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? But I do have black friends that, you know, use it with me and I use it with them. So it's like that's what it is.
I don't know who put jerk chicken, extra jerk sauce on his damn snapper and why he thinks he can go around using a patois accent. Meanwhile, he thinks that it's okay to use the N-word back in the day. I don't know who the fuck put extra curry in his damn mayonnaise, but he needs to relax. Way back then, back in 2014, 2015, he was developing this rapper persona. He was developing this persona to just be hip and down with the squad and shit. Like, he was literally getting tons of tattoos and dressing in a certain way to emulate West Coast rappers because he is from Beverly Hills. Yes, he's straight out of Beverly Hills. And he just took a lot of pictures and did a lot of things to emulate West Coast rappers. Not only that, he also tatted limo life on his damn knuckles. And if you aren't from America, limo life is derived from the word thug life. And if you know anything about the word thug life, it's basically a West Coast word. It's a West Coast slang that was popularized by many rappers like Tupac and Ice Cube and so many other West Coast rappers that grew up in Los Angeles and in the Bay. So the word thug life is more of it's a West Coast thing. It's a West Coast thing to pay homage to a lot of the people who are gang affiliated in the West Coast of Los Angeles. So a lot of people had a problem with him tatting limo life on his damn knuckles because it's just like, really? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're a privileged suburban white boy that grew up in Beverly Hills and all of a sudden you're down with the gang? Really? How does that make sense? How are you fucking gang affiliated and your mom is Mrs. Wilson and your dad is Tom Hanks? Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you grew up in boarding schools, you grew up in private schools, you grew up rich as fuck. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And that's the problem with this world. People want to be black without actually being black because people would love the culture and the dialect and so on and so forth, and the caterpillar braids, that, you know, the mini buns and the what else do they call them shits? The Boderick braids and the boxer braids. People want everything about being black, but don't actually want to be black or have the experience. They just want the royalties of it. And it's funny because the same thing goes for Cyndi Lauper's son. Now, if you guys didn't know, Cyndi Lauper is this massive pop star that blew up in the 80s, early 90s, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know who Cyndi Lauper is. Huge. She's the lady who made that song, Time After Time, and Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But long story short, Cyndi Lauper, you guys know that she's probably one of the most influential pop artists of all time. And it's funny because, did you guys know that she has a son that's 22? His name is Declan, and now he goes by Dex. His name is now Dex. He kept his mother's last name, Dex Lauper, and now he's a rapper. He has a whole song with G-Eazy, and in that song, he talked about how he hangs out with his blood gangbangers in Inglewood.
Just get that ice. If I'm in Inglewood, then I'm just with my blood of ice. I'm on a time.
Like, bitch. Apparently, according to the media, he identifies as a blood. Like, he's literally out here saying that he's a blood. Meanwhile, his mother is Cyndi Lauper. His parents are rich and loaded. He grew up in New York City. And he's talking about how he's a blood and hangs out with his bloods in Inglewood. He actually dated Brittany Taylor from Love and Hip Hop. And according to Brittany Taylor, when she broke up with him, she outed him and said that he was basically really abusive towards her and that he would call her a lot of racial slurs, like a monkey and a disgusting black bitch and so on and so forth. But anyways, and also, a lot of people try to excuse him using the N-word with the fact that he loves black women. Because if you don't know anything about Mr. Chet HANKS, you should know that he loves black women. Like, he's always being seen with black women. He only likes black women, which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with being down with the swirl. But basically, he only dates black women. So, as he got older and he decided to swirl and hang around black people, he thought that it was okay for him to use the N-word, considering that he hung around so many black people and most of his friends were black. And the fact that he used the excuse of hip-hop is about the culture that you identify with.
You grew up in the hood or not. It's all races, all classes. That's what hip hop is now. That's what the culture is now. I mean, you hear like Migos talk about culture, it's because that's what it is. This is the culture, and it's American culture. It's not just like rap culture now. Like, it's American culture. It's mainstream American culture.
Bitch, what? You can't. How the fuck are you white and you identify with the N-word? I don't want to hear that shit. If you're white, you can't identify with the N-word. You just can't. Like, you just can't. It's just that simple. Like I said, I don't care who says it. But the only thing I have a problem with is that me being a black person and other black people, we have to understand that there's a line of respect. And you have to respect boundaries. And I noticed this a lot, that there are a lot of people who like to give out N-word passes. That's why I don't care who says it, because there's too many N-word passes. Cardi B, she ain't black. But y'all don't care when she says, and I'm quick, cut a nigga off. But, like, y'all don't say nothing. Cardi B don't even identify as black. But everyone wants to claim her under the sun. Every black person just wants to claim any person that's not black under the sun. And then, of course, we got, Lil Pump saying the N-word all the time. We got 6ix9ine saying the N-word all the time. People barely say anything. Who else says the N-word all the time? Several people have said the N-word. Shit, even Eminem have said the N-word. Y'all remember when Eminem said the N-word in the freestyle back in the 90s?
Feeling me, holla back. If you still a nigga, holla back. I can see the people where you at. I can feel you, nigga.
No one said anything. And also, Eminem constantly gets told, oh, no, it's okay. Like, whenever that video resurfaces of him saying the N-word, people are always saying, oh, no, it's okay. Eminem has contributed a lot to black culture. What has he contributed besides being a good rapper? I'm just saying. So a lot of people like to give Eminem a pass for his past of using the N-word, and plus he doesn't use it anymore, but he's used it at least twice in different songs, but that was his past, and he doesn't want to be a part of that. But a lot of people seem to always forget when he made that diss track about black women in 1993.
Whites, sometimes mixed, but black girls only want your money cause of dumb chicks. So I'm black girls and white girls just don't mix, because black girls are dumb and white girls are good chicks. Cause black girls, I really don't like, we don't mix. I'll get straight to the point, black girls are bitches.
Anyways, like I said, black people have selective outrage. So anyways, fast forward to now, the whole patois thing and the whole Jamaican accent, whole persona, a lot of people aren't giving him a pass for it because everybody remembers his past. Like, yes, it may not be that serious because it's a language, but how can we even respect someone speaking a patois? The fact, well, he's an actor, he should be able to do that. Okay, cool. So if I were to sit up here and say, yeah, Holmes, oh, it's like I'd be wrong, right? I'd be wrong, right? I'd be wrong if I pull my eyes back and try to like talk like that. Like, you see where I'm coming from? So let's be realistic here and let's try to keep the same energy here, because I'm pretty sure if it was a black man or a white man saying, boing, like literally holding his eyes out, saying the typical Asian shit, like the typical things, the stereotypical things that people think all Asians sound like, then it'd be a problem. If it was a stereotypical thing, the stereotypical way that Mexicans spoke, if someone was doing that, then it'd be a problem, right? You know, if y'all don't respect black people, just say y'all don't respect black people. So this really annoyed me that a lot of people gave him a pass for that, and then there were a lot of Jamaicans in the comments actually co-signing his behavior, saying, who cares? You Americans care more about appropriation than we do. We actually think it's funny. We don't mind it. What about when you guys make fun of African accents? What about when you guys make fun of French accents? And let's be realistic. We all make fun of accents. We've all done it, even when we were kids. Let's be realistic, because accents aren't generally funny. But I think it's just a simple fact where I don't really look at him as a comedian. I look at someone who's made some very nasty comments trying to defend the fact that he's able to use the N-word just because his friends think it's okay. So it's just like, I don't really trust white people who try to defend themselves saying it with, well, everybody says it. I don't trust those white people, because in my eyes, when I see white people argue with it, it's just like, okay, you can say it because people can't see the same energy, but let's be realistic. Do you really want to argue about the N-word, a word that was created to degrade people of color? Do you really want to argue about that? Do you really want to justify that just because the people that you're using it with turned it into something positive? And personally, I'm a firm believer, and I don't think anybody should be saying the fucking word. And I just see it like this: if we can keep the same energy, then you're allowed to get upset. That's just my personal opinion. We got to keep the same energy of everybody else that's using it. We can't be like, oh no, you get a pass. Oh no, you get a pass. Oh no, she gets a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. You get a pass. You all get a pass. Let's be realistic here. And plus, he also does have a daughter who's biracial. He has a daughter by a black woman. So a lot of people are trying to say, oh no, he loves us black people. He loves only black women. Oh no, he has a half black child. He can do that. He can say the N-word. His children are black. You know, it's almost funny because this is why I don't care about the whole N-word conversation. This is why I don't care about a lot of things that outrage a lot of black people. This is why I don't agree with a lot of things that outrage black people. Like I do feel like a lot of things should be outrageable, but a lot of things I just don't agree with or pay any mind to. Hence why I don't make a video about every single thing that outrages black people. So it's one of those things where if you really think about it, we have different types of black people in this world. We got the coon black people. We got the modern day bed wenches. We got the house slaves, the house niggas. You got the conservative blacks. You got you got a whole bunch of different type of blacks. You got the I'm for equal rights. I'm for equal rights, but I'm against transgender people, and I don't think trans people are human. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got the I'm equal rights black people, but oh no, being trans is an abomination, being gay is an abomination. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? So there's different types of black people, hence why we can't all get along as one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Asians never have a problem getting along. Latinos never have a problem getting along as one. Even some that are part of different Latin groups, and then white people never have a problem getting along as one. And this is why they don't respect us, because we constantly out here giving passes, and a lot of us have different ways of thinking of things. And a lot of us are Uncle Toms, and a lot of us are coons, and this and that. It's just like, that's what I mean when I say black people can have the same energy. So him saying the patois accent, it's not that deep, but then I do kind of have an issue with it, only because he doesn't respect the people where it comes from. You know, he did do an interview addressing, you know, him saying the N-word recently. And basically, I didn't like the fact that the interviewers who were people of color didn't hold him accountable. But shit, still. I mean, he didn't really apologize for it. He more so just said, it wasn't my place. It wasn't my place isn't sorry. It wasn't my place basically means, okay, fine, you know what? I ain't gonna say nigga no more. I ain't gonna say nigga no more. I'm gonna just say when y'all niggas ain't listening. I'm gonna just say when y'all niggas take it back.
This massive chip on my shoulder, where it was like, I had already been villainized like in the media, so I basically ran with it and said, okay, fuck it. If you want to make me a villain, like I'll be like the biggest villain and like whatever, and I'll get a fan base from like being that villain. But here's the truth: it was never my place to speak on that.
So that's really all I gotta say about that. So, Mr. Chet HANKS, Mr. Malibu's Most Wanted. Shut up! I'm tired of seeing his face. He's annoying as fuck. He deserves all the backlash he gets. And everybody that's co-signing his behavior without side-eyeing him, y'all just as bad. Because if it was a fat southern white guy, y'all wouldn't care. If it was a little Asian girl or a white woman, y'all'd be up in arms. Like, they want our culture so much. But because it's a good-looking white boy, it's okay. He likes us black women. It's okay. He only dates black women. See, this is what I mean with the passes. Stop with the fucking passes, for God's sakes. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this video. People should like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to my second channel. My podcast comes on February 1st. So be on the lookout. So yeah, that was that for this video. People should like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, that's that. Troyce out this bitch.
So long, oh my, yeah, you Monica. Sometimes I'm here, and mother's already fall. I ask myself over again, what am I doing wrong? What does it have over me? I think I'm done with you. How you make me feel I'm so gone, so gone. You make me feel sweet. Oh, I love you, baby. So gone. Ooh. Thank you.